Now, let's talk about the situation where you have created a list on Vainu and you now want to export that list outside from Vainu for any specific reason. There are two basic ways to do that. One is to export the list as a CSV file, so basically as a spreadsheet that you can then open in any of your spreadsheet tools. Or alternatively, you can send the list to your CRM, assuming that your contract includes the mass export option to a CRM tool, and if you have already connected the integration beforehand. Now let's take a look at both of the options using this pre-designed list as an example here. So first, if I would want to download these companies as a CSV file, I could click here on the download button. And the first thing to do would be to choose which data points do I actually want included on my CSV export. So I could just choose, for example, click here and have all of the fields on my export, or just perhaps choose any of these subcategories here. Now note that there are some categories, for example, Vainu Custom Industries All or the employees data point here, which have this little sheet icon next to the name. And what that simply means is those data points will actually come on a separate sheet, meaning that I would be downloading, instead of just one sheet, two sheets in this case. One that contains, or actually three, there's another one here. So one sheet which contains all of the basic data, another sheet which contains all of the Vainu Custom Industries of these companies, and even a third sheet which contains all of the different business units. In this case, I'll just remove these extra sheets and have all of these data points one single spreadsheet. The other thing I could do here is rearrange these data points. So for example, if I would be especially interested on the Vainu Custom Industries of these companies, I could then move this category higher up like so. Then I would click on choose file type, allowing me to choose the file type I want. Also gives me a summary of how many companies am I actually exporting, how many data points did I just choose in the previous view, and there's even a quick preview on what my export will finally look like. So you can see in the first column I have all the lists on this company, and within all the other columns I have all the data points that I just selected. And then I would just click on download CSV, and depending on the size of the list, it would take a few moments for Vainu to create the spreadsheet, which you could then download. So there. The other alternative I mentioned was sending these companies to your CRM. Again, assuming that you have already integrated Vainu with your CRM. Once that is done, you can just click on the Send To button, and in this case I have a HubSpot integration up and running, so I would just click here. Now it tells me again that I'm about to send 124 companies to our HubSpot. It tells me the element. So basically I'm sending these companies as a company element. This obviously depends on the CRM system you are using. You can also send additional data alongside these companies, which means in this case that I could also add a note or a task element to each of the companies that I'm currently sending. There is a data field called Vainu segments, which by default uses the list name, and that is something that is very nice to use within the CRM when you then want to filter the companies that originated from these specific lists. So for example, maybe you have a specific marketing campaign related to this list and you then want to find just those companies from within your CRM. So using the Vainu segments as a filtering criteria within HubSpot or your CRM would then make it much easier. You can choose to whom you are assigning these companies. You're maybe assigning them just to yourself or maybe to one of your colleagues. And you can even click on the Check Data Mapping button here to see which data fields Vainu will be populating when sending these companies to your CRM. And then I would just click on Send to HubSpot, and these 124 companies would then be sent there. So these are the two basic ways of sending or exporting a list that you have created on Vainu, either as a spreadsheet or directly to your CRM.